Hello, welcome to this new episode of the Alex Show TV. This episode is from October the 17th of the year 2025. Today is a Friday, and today we have a show, very special show. We're gonna look at five races from the universe, five extraterrestrials: Anunnaki, Reptilians, Greys, Draconians, and Insectoids. Let's start, and I'm gonna try to go fast. We have five support videos to watch, one on each race. We're going to start with the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki, so many stories. I want to clarify so many stories about the Anunnaki, but the one that resonates with me is the Anunnaki were basically the ones that came from the stars. That was the description, or that was the term that was coined thousands of years ago. Some say the name Anunnaki comes from the god Anu that gave birth to Enki and Enlil. Many stories about that. Some say Enki and Enlil are brothers. That's the story I attached to. Half brothers, by the way, not brothers. And some say that Enlil is the father of Enki. That's a different story. But basically, the Anunnaki, you're gonna notice what I'm gonna say because it's very well known. They are the inhabitants of the planet Nibiru, which I already made a couple of shows on the planet Nibiru, which I don't believe is a planet. I believe it's a spaceship. And that's why it violates the rules of the universe and goes wherever it wants to go. Doesn't follow an orbit or anything like that. Some call it follows an exotic orbit. Not really, because it basically goes wherever it wants to go. I believe it's a spaceship, okay? So without further ado, let's watch the first support video on the Anunnaki, and I will continue to give you my thoughts on this subject.
Number 2. Anunnaki. The Anunnaki are one of the oldest extraterrestrial races ever spoken of on Earth. The earliest references to these interplanetary beings came from Mesopotamian culture, which refers to the beings of Anunna. It is worth noting that the Sumerians referred to these beings as those who descended from the heavens. Apparently, according to information found and later translated from one of the tablets of Sumerian culture, it was discovered that these beings come from a planet called Nibiru. It has been mentioned that this planet exists in a higher dimension than ours, which makes it invisible to our eyes. However, the true origin of the Anunnaki is rather unclear. What is known is that they inhabited the ancient region of Mesopotamia. This is because a large part of the inhabitants of Nibiru are known as Anunna, which by name means descendants of Anu. However, the suffix ki at the end of Anunna establishes a connection between them and the earth goddess known in Sumerian culture as Ki. Morphology of the Anunnaki. According to the same tablets mentioned earlier, the morphological structure of these beings was revealed, describing them as a kind of large humanoids with the following main characteristics. They are known for having white or pale skin. They have hair as well as facial hair, similar to the human race, and their facial features are quite similar to those of human beings. It is said that the migration of this race originated due to problems suffered by the atmosphere of Nibiru. This caused them to travel through the universe in search of a planet that contained gold, a very valuable element for the Anunnaki, since the atmosphere of Nibiru is composed of gold. It is said that when these technologically advanced beings arrived on our planet, they found it necessary to genetically alter the specimen that inhabited the Earth. This specimen is what we know as the Neanderthals. Because of this, it is speculated that humans were created by the Anunnaki to serve as slaves, tasked with extracting the gold they needed for their home planet, Nibiru. And there are those who say that the Anunnaki are a benevolent race who genetically altered us to enkau kande lasanti pisari.
Okay, so many stories about the Anunnaki. Again, they are the ones that claim that they came here to help us. They're the ones that claim that they created a human being. The story I aligned to is they were looking for gold. Gold is very important in the universe, okay? It's not it's not as we have been groomed to believe that gold is important because it's valuable. I know gold is very expensive. It's one of the most expensive materials in the world right now. By the way, it's very scarce in the world right now. I believe more than 99% of the gold that was here on Earth has been taken out by the Anunnaki. Yes, was mined and taken out from this planet for their own use. And gold is a metal that has a lot of properties throughout the universe. So they came here. The Earth was keyword, was very abundant in gold, and they brought another race. I don't remember now the name, but they brought another race and they tried them to mine gold for them. And this race rebelled and said, we're not going to do it. So that's the story when the Anunnaki saw this being, this primal being, not really conscious being, this something very similar to an animal. And they say, we're going to modify it so we can control it so they can mine gold. And apparently in an accident, again, I'm not saying I'm attached to this story. I'm saying this is the story of the Anunnaki that I attach to. Is very different. That apparently they created humanity in their need to mine gold from Earth, okay? And the rest is history. Basically, they allow us to stay here. They are still here in a way, controlling us. This is kind of a colony to them in the sense that they left humanity, but they are controlling humanity. There's also this story that they partner with other species, such as that we're going to talk in this video, such as reptilians and rays and draconians and insectoids. Yes, with those four. And in a way, giving out Earth and saying, let's partner and controlling this species called the humans, that they're going to believe that they control Earth, but we're actually above them, okay? So, yes, I cannot speak in absolutes here. The Anunnaki, the inhabitants of Nibiru, Enki, and Enlil. There's a show coming up in a few weeks that I'm going to go deep into this subject, and I'm going to share what I believe this good cop, bad cop story on Enki and Enlil brothers, what it meant for humanity. Let's talk about the second race, the reptilians. You probably heard about them. This story that they are very similar to serpents and all reptilians here on Earth, or animals as reptilians that many claim that are not from Earth, that they were brought in by this race. And in this case, let's watch the support video together. Let me give you my comments afterwards.
Number 3. Reptilians. What are reptilians? Reptilians are an extraterrestrial race characterized precisely by their reptilian and humanoid appearance. It is believed that these aliens come from a star system called Draco, specifically from Alpha Draconis. Because of this, reptilians are sometimes also known as Draconians. These extraterrestrials are also known as Reptiloids and even as lizardmen. But there is another theory that claims these supposed aliens do not come from outer space, but from Earth itself. This theory suggests that reptiloids would be the result of the evolution of certain dinosaurs that once inhabited the planet. Reptilians are described as humanoids with reptilian features. Thus, these beings would have their entire bodies covered in dark green, pronounced scales. The build of these extraterrestrials is thick. That is why their strong arms and legs allow them to possess great physical strength. Their hands are not like those of humans, as they have 3 elongated fingers and a thumb, all equipped with long claws. Regarding their eyes, they have been described by alleged witnesses as large and yellow, similar to those of cats. According to various theorists, reptilians could reach heights of 2 or even 3 meters. Additionally, these burly extraterrestrials could weigh approximately 120 to 250 kilograms. It is said that this alien race possesses psychic powers, as well as highly developed technology. Furthermore, emphasis is placed on the evil nature of these beings, who are incapable of feeling emotions or sentiments. Thus, they are quite cruel beings, with instinctive and territorial behavior, only seeking to satisfy their own interests. This makes them one of the most feared beings in the universe, due to the high levels of evil they possess. The reptilians possess great abilities. Among them, in addition to mind control, they have the ability to manipulate their molecules at will. This allows them to change shape without much difficulty, enabling them to pass as humans quite.
Okay, many believe that reptilians are the controllers of Earth. I believe there's kind of a partnership, and all of these races and a few others are included in that partnership. Certainly at the top of that partnership, reptilians and draconians. I believe that draconians control the reptilians. They are kind of the soldiers of the draconians. And yes, don't expect to find any empathy. Don't expect to find any evolution there. I don't like to pass judgment on any race. But I believe that reptilians are extremely confused. They're extremely primal. They're extremely in a way, they really don't follow any kind of rules, and that's why they come into planets and they're really same as you see out there, lizards and that. They don't seem to be respectful of the environment. Okay. Not much to say. There's many claims that people at power on this reality are reptilians that shapeshift into humans. That's certainly a possibility. They will be kind of hybrids. I do believe reptilians are involved in the control of planet Earth. Third race, the Greys. This is interesting one. The Greys, many claim that it's humans in the future, humans in another dimension. The interesting thing about the Greys is also many believe they have biologically reached the end of life in a way. They have biologically been extinct, and they actually try to transcend their consciousness into machines. That's why many, when they have seen Greys in the astral, in contacts, in kind of abductions and that, they say they don't feel any empathy, like facing a machine. Yes, it makes all the sense in the world if they are kind of droids that apparently they have suctioned or they have taken out this consciousness from the extinct civilization of the Greys. I find also interesting the work of Larry Anka, also known as Bashar. If you look at the history and whatever this contact from Bashar, a contactee of Larry Anka that apparently he's a Grey, admits to be a Grey, claims that abductions by Greys are because Greys are trying to kickstart their biological kind of reality or kind of existence by performing DNA experiments on humans through abductions. I find that extremely messed up, honestly. I find that very concerning. And it was in a video by Bashar Daryanka that came out, and it's very strange to me, honestly. That's the only thing I'm going to say. So let's watch the support video together, and I will give you my thoughts on the Greys.
Number 4, Greys. When talking about known extraterrestrial races, we can't leave out the Greys. These can be divided into two main categories, the small Greys and the tall Greys. But this time, I'll be talking about the small Greys, what they are and where they come from. According to accounts from people who have been abducted by these beings, it is said that they come from Zeta Reticuli, which is a star system located approximately 40 light years from our planet. On the other hand, there are theories that link the origin of the small Greys to a kind of robot created by a superior race. However, that race became extinct, leaving the Greys adrift. It is also speculated that one of the reasons these extraterrestrials abduct is to create hybrid beings with humans, and thus avoid their own extinction. There are various characteristics that make these beings very unique, setting them apart considerably from other extraterrestrial races. One of the most famous features of the Greys' morphology is precisely their small stature. However, there are also other important aspects to consider, such as the tone of their skin, which is gray in color. They measure around 1 meter and 20 centimeters tall. Their eyes are black, very large and oval-shaped. Their mouths are small compared to the size of their faces. They have 2 openings through which they breathe, thus having tiny noses. They are quite thin. Their arms are quite long, being disproportionate to the size of their bodies. They have 4 fingers which are elongated and of different lengths. They have rather large heads, which are also disproportionate to their bodies. Apparently, they do not have sexual organs. It is believed that these small beings are endowed with great intelligence. It has even been mentioned that most of the abductions carried out by the little Greys are done for the purposes of study and experimentation. It is also said that these small beings possess psychic powers, making them capable of partially erasing the memories of abducted people, and, in some cases, causing them to hallucinate. Due to how traumatic the abduction experiences carried out by the Greys have been described, it is believed that this is a malevolent race. There are those who claim that these small beings have tried to alter the memories of abductees in order to make their experiences less traumatic. This could indicate that instead of being malevolent beings, they might be...
Hey, not much to say. The jury's out there with Greys, and apparently they're involved with a lot of the abductions, and that's the testimony of people that suffer sleep paralysis, and they see these kind of beings out there in the rooms the feeling, the description, the testimony is there's no empathy there. It's basically like a dead something there, like a piece of wood or matter. So it comes with a story that maybe we're talking about robots, droids, okay? So this one is very interesting. Draconians. This one is very interesting. Draconians. It says apparently the story is that Draconians are the inventors of money, the inventors of the matrix system, the pleasure system, the pain system, the system to keep you in control. They are manipulators. Even if they look very scary, they prefer to manipulate, to confuse, to trick instead of using force. So let's watch the support video together and I'll give you my final thoughts on the comments.
Number 5. Draconians. The Draconians, or Alpha Draconis, are precisely an alien race that currently comes from the Alpha Draconis constellation. However, it is said that these beings are actually natives of a higher universe. Nevertheless, due to their great negative energy, they were cast into Alpha Draconis and somehow banished from that higher universe. It is also often mentioned that the Draconians are of royal lineage and belong to the reptilian type of extraterrestrials. They would be part of a hierarchical system in which they rule over the reptilians, and these beings in turn rule over the Greys. These beings are reptilian in nature, so it is assumed that they share characteristics with such creatures. It is said that the Draconians have tough, scaly skin that can vary in color. Some may have green, blue, gray, or even reddish skin. They are also said to be extremely tall, with the smallest ones reaching up to 3.5 meters in height. Their physical build is robust, giving them a very imposing and intimidating appearance. Their build is robust and imposing, with strong claws on their hands and feet, and a long, thick tail endowed with great strength. They may also have large wings. These beings are known for their great hostility. Generally, they do not get along well with other races. Most likely, it was because of this nature that they were banished from their universe of origin. Likewise, they possess great intelligence and can create military forces of enormous power. These extraterrestrials have the ability to shapeshift at will, being able to take on the appearance.
Okay, so apparently the Draconians have a lot to do with the air, right now. They are regarded as the inventors of money, the inventors of money as a system, the inventors of money as a control. They are also regarded as the one that created a system that you will fall into the traps of believing it's real, it's reality as you should understand. So I think they are very, very, very concentrated in the reality you know right now as the Matrix, okay? I don't believe they're the only ones. I believe, as the video says, that reptilians work for Draconians, that Greys work for reptilians. Yes, it makes all the sense in the world. I'm not sure. I believe Insectoids work along reptilians, and I believe the Anunnaki are up there at the top with the Draconians. So at least it's a 5-race system, at least. But I think there are many, many involved. Some say even the species or the races we spoke about last week, such as the oh, sorry about that. Forgot. Some of the races we spoke about last week, they are even involved in this control system. So finally, the insectoids. Many say they look very similar to insects on Earth. Mostly they look like this kind of beetle type, long-standing insect, humanoid as well, large eyes. I had some experience with insectoids on dreams. And I believe when you're out there having experiences like this, you're having experiences in the astral. So I share a story. Long time ago, I was in university that I had a dream. I was solving mazes, and I keep solving mazes, and it became hard on the dream. It felt very long. It felt we were going for weeks, months, until suddenly an insectoid presented itself in the dream and said, in an intuitive way, in a kind of mental way, it was not moving his mouth. We're not speaking a specific language. I just knew what he wanted to say. Hey, you're not gonna solve this. Stop it. Stop. Quit. Something like that. That was the meaning, the intention. Quit. Stop. And I said, no, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I shared many times, I don't have many abilities, but one ability I have is I'm very persistent. You give me a drill and you ask me a task, and I'm gonna do it even if I take 10 years for you. That's just me. I'm very persistent. Okay, that's something I have. So I responded through that sense of myself, of my intuition, of saying why am I not gonna solve these mazes? That certainly they had an intention. It was kind of an out of the system. It felt that way. So the question was, you are never gonna get out of the system. And I said, yes, I'm gonna get out of the system. Which, by the way, that was like at least 30 years ago, even more. No, it was probably more, 35 years ago. I was in university. I'm now convinced, I'm totally convinced, I'm getting eventually someday, somehow, out of the system. So I believe that response had to do a lot with my inner feeling that I'm leaving this system. Okay. So when I responded that in a more psychic, intuitive way, another insectoid, this one extremely big, presented, and they started kind of interacting. And what I couldn't understand is saying, he says he's gonna beat it. And the big insectoid pushed me. It felt a little bit scary, yes. Pushed me, and I woke up. It took me like half an hour to understand where I was, what happened. So I do believe insectoids operate a lot in the astral. I do believe insectoids operate a lot in an etherical way. We get them attached to us. I heard many times, or I've been working through that people help me. I have a couple of friends that help me with kind of attachments and that kind of thing. And usually they're insectoids, these beings that are constantly attaching to us like that. Also, I have to say, there's this claim that insectoids operate also a lot of the sexual energy in the world. So when you are actually thinking a lot of sex, fantasizing, this kind of stuff, let's be mature about it. I'm talking like adults here. Apparently, there's insectoids working in the background to harvest this very important energy from you. So I do believe insectoids have a lot to do. Everyone has its part. I believe insectoids work along, or they work for reptilians in the harvesting energy part. And they operate in the astral, in dreams, and that. You shouldn't be afraid. They're very scary. They look very scary, like the picture we're looking at the screen. But always, always present your own light. Always present your own power, and you're going to be fine. So I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope it wasn't very long. I tried to go as fast as possible. And I hope you enjoyed this 2-episode series on star races. We look at a little bit, let's not pass judgment, a little bit more involved last week. These star races, they need a little bit more work. They are working their own way. Let's try to be understanding of everyone here. Hope you had a great show. Hope you enjoy it. If everything's okay, I shall see you back next week. Have a great weekend. Take care. Thank you for making it to this part of the video. This is my favorite part. This is where I suggest to you that you discover your true self. You are not what you have been groomed to believe. You are this incredible being without limits that has eternal life, amazing strength, infinite wisdom, and a big, beautiful heart. All your limits are always self-imposed. Your best version in this reality is inside you. Your only mission on this life is to become a beacon of love and to serve others. This version is ready to be discovered today. How do you discover your true self? The discovery process is a personal one. No one can do it for you. Dedicate 5 minutes a day to talk to the universe. Simply ask, who am I? Where do I come from? What is my purpose? You will start getting signs, breadcrumbs, and signals. You will notice how your notions about this reality start disappearing. No more hierarchies, no more competition, no more complaining, no more depending on others. Discovering your true self equals to real freedom. Your self-imposed limits will fall and you will be ready to understand this reality, but you must be patient to allow others to wake up at their time through their own free will. That will be really soon, you will see, and that will set up a new world. As you work towards your best version, you will notice how all emotions don't serve you anymore. Hate, fear, rage, pride, lust, envy, violence, justice, true violence, judgment of others, and other emotions will disappear from your mind and heart. You will understand those emotions are only your egoic mind and are not you. Please try to be understanding of others that don't think or feel like you. Everyone has a process. No one is right or wrong. We're all just different. Don't be concerned about being right, ever. Don't allow pride preventing you from patching things up with family and friends. It is very important you enjoy this life with your loved ones. Put in the work to patch things up and leave it to others to decide. Thank you very much for watching. Please share, like and subscribe. If you have any comments or suggestions, please use the comment section below. For private questions, conversations, and if you would like to appear on the show, please email me at hey@thealexshow.tv. Thank you again. Please don't forget to visit our website www.thealexshow.tv. By giving me your time, you honor me. Have a very